to episode 41 of my Yarny Corner. My name's Alex and I live in Yorkshire in the UK, and this is a podcast all about knitting and crochet. So welcome everybody, I hope you're all okay and I hope you've had a lovely crafty 2 weeks since I last spoke to you. Today is Wednesday. Why can I never remember the date? The 7th of September, I think. Let me just straighten that camera up. Yes, Danny's giving me the thumbs up sign. Wednesday, the 7th of September, and this will go on to YouTube tomorrow. I'll leave all the information about where you can find me in the description box below, and anything that I talk about in the video will be linked below as well. And this camera's too high, hang on. That's better. So, are we all okay? We had a lovely, lovely crafty 2 weeks. It seems ages since I last podcasted, but I'm really excited to be here. And before we start, we've got a few admin things to talk about, so I'm going to get straight into the admin things today. The first thing being the Inspiration Make-Along. I'm going to be drawing prizes for August today, and that I'll put the hashtag on the screen. The Inspiration Make-Along finishes on the 31st of September. So on the next podcast after the 31st of September, we'll do a bigger draw, and it'll be including everybody in it from all the months. So we'll do a bigger draw and there'll be more prizes for that, but that will be on the podcast after the Inspiration Make-Along finishes. Does that make any sense? I think it does. But today we need to draw prizes for August. So I have them all written down. There were 29 entries this time. So I've written them all down in the order that they went onto Instagram. So I do apologise, but I'm going to be using our little artificial friend. So if you don't want yours to go off, I suggest you mute this bit. So, are we ready? Shall we do the draw? This is for a pattern prize. So if you can get in touch with me either by email or Instagram and let me know what pattern you'd like, I will get that pattern out to you. So Alexa, pick a number between 1 and 29. Alexa's not listening, hang on. Alexa, pick a number between 1 and 29.
Here's a number between 1 and 29. It's 27.
27. Okay, so that is Imacol. I'll put the name on the screen. I hope I pronounced that right. So you have won the pattern prize this time. Thank you so much for joining. I'll put your name on the screen. So if you can get in touch with me regarding what pattern you'd like. Obviously Ravelry is easier, but if you don't use Ravelry, don't worry, we can sort something out if you just let me know what pattern you'd like, and that's up to the value of £10. So I can't believe the Inspiration Make-Along is actually coming to an end. I have absolutely loved seeing all the entries into that. It's been amazing. I've got loads of patterns written down, not just one or two. I've written quite a few down. So it's been really lovely to see. So that is that. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was Patreon. We did launch Patreon last week, so thank you for those of you that have hopped on over and joined us on Patreon. I really, really appreciate it. Oh my God, but what a drama it was. So, oh my God, yeah, we had a drama. So I'd set up Patreon and I'd gone through it all, and I decided what day we were launching and what time we were launching, and I thought that would be it. It wasn't. Once I hit the launch button, it then had to go to review. So, it's been such a drama, and it's still not 100% sorted out. My Patreon page isn't searchable because it's still in a review process. So the only way to access the Patreon page is through the link on the community post on YouTube at the moment. Hopefully that'll be resolved in the next couple of days. But Patreon launched and I am so pleased. I am absolutely over the moon. It's been lovely welcoming everybody. We've got a little Patreon only giveaway. I don't know if anybody's noticed. I did put some goals on the Patreon page and we've already hit the first goal. So there is a Patreon only giveaway coming. I think it might be today. We're filming vlogs for the Patreon today, so it might be today. So that was that. There was something else I wanted to talk about now. What was it? The advents. The advents have gone on sale. They will come down when the day that you see this video, which is tomorrow. They'll come down. I'll bring them down tomorrow at 7 o'clock just to give people a chance to see the video. I know there's a few people maybe not ordered yet. So don't forget the advent listing will come down from Etsy tomorrow. And then we'll start dyeing the advents up. So if you've not ordered your advent and you want to take part this time, just make sure you order before 7 o'clock tomorrow. Well, today when you see this video. Today when you see this video. And the other exciting news was that the website launched. Oh my word. I am over the moon. Absolutely over the moon with it. That launched on the same day as Patreon. So that launched at 7 o'clock last Thursday. And oh, wow. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm so pleased with it. We're still getting used to how the website works, but we're learning as we go, so it's all fine. But yeah, I'm absolutely over the moon with that. And I think that should be it. 6 minutes in to all the advent, goodness me, all the admin stuff. So, shall we talk about some knitting? To be honest with you, I remember that on the last podcast I mentioned that my knitting mojo had upped and left, and I was absolutely, oh my God, I was a bit traumatised, to be honest, because what do you do if you're not knitting? I've got my crojo back, which is fantastic, because I'd lost that for a little while. Well, I'm saying a little while. I think I'd lost that for about a year. The last thing I actually crocheted was the C2C blanket. And before that, I don't know what I'd crocheted. So my crochet mojo's back, but I'd lost my knitting mojo. I'd spoken to a few people, and a few people had said, you know, maybe you're just bored of your projects. And I sort of read those comments and I thought, actually, I think you might be right. So what I did was I put all my knitting projects away. I normally keep them under the table in the lounge and I have everything out. And sometimes if I've got a lot of projects on the go, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So I was really strict with myself and I took all the bags and I put them all in the cupboard and I thought, right, they're out of sight now, so I'm not stressing that I've lost my knitting mojo. And it absolutely worked. Within a day or two, I'd picked my knitting up and I'm straight back into it. So we do have some progress to talk about. There are a pair of, well, the one finished object I've got is a pair of socks. I'm not going to show them again on the podcast because I've shown them so many times. So I'm just going to stick a little picture in here. And these are my Rose City rollers. I finished the second pair. In fact, I can't show you because I've been wearing them and they're in the wash. But there is a picture there. So I finished my second pair of those. I really like that pattern. I really do. I think it's a super quick pattern and they fit really well. My biggest concern, as I've said before, with that pattern, with it not having a cuff on the socks, would be that they would just fall off, and they don't at all. They're really, really comfortable and I'll make plenty more of those, but they are finished. So that is my one and only finished object this time, which I'm really pleased about because it means that I've made progress on other things. I have cast on more socks, but I'm not upset that I've cast on more socks because it was for tutorial purposes only. I did film a sock tutorial that's already up on YouTube if you want to have a look at that. So I didn't have to cast on another pair of socks, but obviously that wasn't my fault, so I'll show them in a little bit. But let's get into the knitting. Let's stop waffling and let's get into the knitting, and we'll start with socks. So, living in my Yarndale bag. Yes, it's Yarndale month this month. I'm super excited, end of September. So this is living in my Yarndale bag. I have 2 pairs of socks living in here. I haven't got any blockers. Let me just grab some blockers. I'm back. So I showed you last time the socks that I'm working on for Ruby for her birthday. I finished sock 1. And look at those. Aren't they gorgeous? This is my yarn I got from Yarndale last year. And it is Joe Knit Sew, and the colourway is Neon Flutters. That's her label. And I've just done a plain vanilla ankle type sock. It's not really a shorty, it's more of an ankle sock. Ruby only has one pair of socks and her feet have grown a little bit since then, so she does need some more. So that is those. This is a sparkle yarn that I dyed myself. You can't really see the sparkle in it that well. The camera's not picking it up. It's very dark here. But yeah. So I finished that one. And then, this is what I do with socks. I did mention it on the tutorial. The way that I avoid second sock syndrome is I'll just knit one sock at a time. So I think I've got about 5 single socks kicking about. But you see, then I'll go around and do a sweep and pick up the other socks, and it doesn't feel like I'm knitting the second sock. So that's how I avoid second sock syndrome. This is my sock that I did for the tutorial this week. And this, I absolutely adore this yarn. My friend Caroline bought me this yarn. It was a yarn that Danny had dyed. It was last year for the shop and I absolutely fell in love with it, and Danny wouldn't let me keep it. And I said, please nobody buy it, because if it doesn't sell then I get to keep it. So my friend Caroline bought it and she said, Alex, it's for you. Oh, I just love it. It's gorgeous, isn't it? And the yellow is a Somerset Yarns. This is out of the rainbow pack that I bought early last year. I've only got yellow left now. But yeah, it's just beautiful. I keep looking at it. It's the most gorgeous sock ever. And I don't know whether to keep this one for myself or gift it. I really like the colour. You know me and pink. I really love it. So I haven't decided if they're for me or a gift yet. But so that's those. So I've finished those 2 socks. I have started a pair of socks for Danny because he's just nattering and nattering, and to be perfectly honest, I really need to knit him some more socks. And I've got I think I've got 20 pairs of socks. I've made 19 pairs of socks this year. 19, which I'm really shocked at. So I don't need any more socks for myself at all. So where do I put them? Oh, what's in that bag there? Oh, I forgot I had this bag. Oh, they're all my Christmas stitch markers. I put them all separately so I could have them for Christmas. Scissors that work. I don't have them in my other bag. And a little fridge magnet. I didn't realise I had this bag. Anyway. Right, what's in this one? Ah, these are Danny's socks. So this is living in my Yarndale bag that I got last year as well. Another bag that I absolutely adore. It's my favourite bag. It's got skulls on it and it's pink. So Mandy from the Mouse's Mates podcast, this bag is right up your street because it's got skulls on it. Oh, did anybody see Mandy's podcast last week? I had to laugh so much. She introduced a podcast and she nearly said, welcome to my Yarny Corner. I thought it was brilliant. Mandy, if you want to introduce my podcast, you can. So, socks for Danny. Are you ready for this? 9-inch circular needles. The only reason these are on 9-inch circular needles is because I had no other needles and he really wanted some socks casting on, so I thought I'm going to try them again. And I don't actually know why I insist on getting myself to grips with 9-inch circular needles, because I'm perfectly fine with magic loop, but I must master 9-inch circular needles. So I've cast on, I've literally just done the cuff. There you go, you can see it now. And I'm just going into knitting. And I'm using, this is one of Danny's yarns, it's the zebra colourway. He's got that and a black for the heels and toes. So I'm doing all right with it actually. These are, I think they're the Knit Pro ones. If I can just pull that out. They're the ones where you've got one needle longer than the other. And I'm doing all right. I have tried these ones before and got, it hurts this part of my thumb, but I kind of think I just need to get used to it. The only problem I'm having with these needles is as I'm knitting, it's snagging on the join and it's annoying So it's not just going round and round like it should be. I'm having to like push it over the join, but maybe that's because I've been on the rib. I don't know. But I'm going to keep going with them because I am determined to master 9-inch circular needles. And I'm going to master 9-inch circular needles. I don't know why this is such a big thing, but it is. So there is a pair of socks cast on for Danny, which I'm going to get on with today. Hopefully he won't have to wait 3 months for his socks. Last time, I think his socks took me, I think it did take me 3 months. I'm sure it did. But it's 72 stitches and it's a size 10. That's not a quick project. I'm not sure what's in this bag. Oh, you see, this is my other sock that I need to finish. Oh, I might do this week. This isn't works in progress. This is just me going through bags at this point. These are the August honey socks. I might finish these this week. So I've only got one sock to do. And this is what I was saying earlier. This is how you avoid second sock syndrome, because these have just totally surprised me. I've forgotten that I even had these cast on. So I've only got one sock to do and I've got a brand new pair of socks. I might get on with those this week. So I'll stop going on about socks. That is it for socks. Right. The other thing I cast on was another C2C blanket. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I've been hankering after a crochet blanket for a while, and I've looked at the Attic 24 ones and I absolutely love them. But the crochet C2C that I made last year, I don't have anymore. So I would really like to make another one. So I just thought, I've got, this bag is filled with scraps of yarn. So I thought, I'm just going to make another. Why not? So I've started one. Oops, that's the yarn that I want to use next. Let me just pop that there. And this is what I've got so far. If you remember the last one that I did 11 by 11 blocks and kept running out of yarn. This time I've done 10 by 10, which is what I recommend on the tutorial. The tutorial for this blanket is in the tutorial playlist. So I've done 10 by 10 blocks and I'm just using my scraps. I've got some 10 gram minis. I've got some little scraps of, I think that's got 8 grams on it. And I've figured out as long as I've got 8 grams, I can make a square. So I'm not doing it in the lines like I did last time. I'm just, sometimes I'm putting them on the second row. Sometimes I'm joining in the line. I love this one. Absolutely love this one. This was out of my advent calendar last year. And it was a Green Lambkin Yarns one. It's beautiful. And I love this one as well. I dyed this one myself. This one, I don't know where it came from, but it's gorgeous. I think it might have come from Anne of Spar Knits. I bought one of her bags and she put some minis in it, and I think that's where that one came from. This one came from Anne. This is just a bit of scrap that I had left over. And that's a Somerset Yarns, a bit of scrap that I had left over. So I really like it. I want to make the border bigger on it this time. I'll put a picture on the screen of the last blanket that I made. I only did 2 rounds for the border last time. And I think I did 10 by 8 on the squares. And I want to make it bigger. So I'm just going to plod along with it. I really, really like it. It's gorgeous. So I'm just using a 3mm hook. That's an Addy hook. These are my favourite hooks. They don't hurt my hands at all because when I crochet like, I hold it like that. And I don't get any pain because my thumb goes into that groove. I absolutely love those hooks. So I'm using one of those. And yeah, just plodding away. The squares take me about half an hour. So if I've got a spare half an hour, I just do a square. And that's my next colour that I'm putting in. And that is going to go next to the orange and the blue. So that's been a real happy, cosy, you know when you get those comfort projects, that's what this has been. I've got so many scraps in here, look. And I've got some more minis coming as well. I was watching Mandy last week from the Mouses Makes podcast, and her Knit Along Knitting for Ukraine had just finished and I won. I couldn't believe it. I won a prize and I've got some minis coming, so they're going to go straight into that, which I'm super, super impressed about. And Mandy has a new make-along starting. I'll put the hashtag on the screen. I think it's called the October Mal, but I'll put the hashtag on the screen. Yes, I'm started a project for that as well. Anyway, right, next project is living in my Llama No Drama bag. This is the Miles shirt jacket. I picked this up again yesterday. I had started it. It's an Aran weight cardigan. That's Stuart meowing at the window, if you can hear. It's an Aran weight cardigan, and I'd started it over the summer, but it was just too hot to work on. So this is it. It's a gorgeous pattern. This pattern was gifted to me by my friend Sue, and she's nearly finished hers. Sue was on a deadline for hers. It had to be finished in time for her daughter's birthday, but I've really fallen behind. So I'm making quite a few modifications to it because it's got short row shaping, because it's a shirt jacket. On the hip area here, it comes down like a shirt, which I'm not doing that part of it. And I'm not putting the pockets on. So I am making some modifications. I'm just making it easier for myself, really, because I've made a cardigan before, but it was the Whitmore cardigan, and the button band was knit at the same time as the rest of the cardigan. Whereas this, I've got to put the button band on it, and it's got a folded collar, which I've never done either. So I've got to learn to do that. And the construction of it was quite different to what I'm used to, and I managed it fine because the pattern is really well written. So I managed it absolutely fine. I mean, look at this detail. I did all that. So different to what I've ever knit, but the pattern was really, really clear, so I had no problems whatsoever. I absolutely love it. So I'm just trying to make it easy for myself, where I'm not stressing too much about all the complicated things that are in this pattern, because there are a few. Not that short row shaping is complicated, it's just I'm not used to doing it. So I'm going to omit that, and the pockets, I won't use pockets on it anyway, so I'm not putting the pockets on, and I'm not putting buttons on the button band either because I don't use them. But anyway, I'll show you the cardigan. So I've done, last time I think I was up here, so I've done quite a chunk of this. And I was worried about the size, but I can pop it on now. I poke myself in the eye with a needle. And once it's, obviously it's rolling, and there's the button band to go on there as well, so it is plenty big enough. I absolutely love it, and I love the colour of it as well. The yarn. Do you remember me getting that Mariner's yarn cone? That's what this is. I had 1,000, oops, dropping my bag. I have 1,000 grams of this on a cone, so I absolutely love it. I think it's 1,000 grams. Is it this one? No, that's the 4-ply one. It's 1,000 grams, so I've got plenty to do it. I'm going to make it longer as well. I don't know how long I'm making it yet, but I do want it to come down below my bum. And this is, because in the winter I really don't like wearing big coats, especially to drive in. I can't drive in a coat. I feel really restricted, like I can't move. So this is going to be nice and thick that I can put on when I'm in the car in winter. And yeah, I'll show you how long I've knit it so far. So it only comes to there, and I want it at least another, however many inches that is down. Yeah, it's gorgeous. So I'm so pleased I've picked it back up. I was working around it last night and it was absolutely lovely. And the yarn's beautiful. It is 100% acrylic, but that's kind of what I want. I do use acrylic more for garments because you can stick them in the wash and just hang them up and they're absolutely fine. And I'm not too precious about it if it's acrylic, because it hasn't been that expensive to make. So that is whip number, I don't know. That's one of my whips. Oops. So that's that one. And my last whip is my Rocket DK. I've only picked this up again since Mandy announced the make-along. And this is for Mandy's make-along. So I did message Mandy and ask if I could include whips. And she said that's absolutely fine. If you remember, I just got past finishing. No, I just split for the sleeves. That's what I've done. And now, because I've been squirreling away on this, look how much I've done. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the stripe detail that I've put on. This was my plan for this yarn, to have these 2 stripes, and I'm going to put them same 2 stripes onto the sleeve as well. Now, I don't think it's going to fit. I said last time that I'd swatched for the pattern and then I thought it was going to be too small, but the yarn was quite stretchy. So now, let me see what size I'm doing. Now I've got more knitting on it, it seems to be really, really big. I have put it on cables and I've tried it on and it does seem to be quite big. So I am making size number 1, 2, 3, size 5, which is the finished measurement of 44 inches at the bust. I'm 39. Now the pattern is showing with 2 inch of positive ease, but I did want a little bit more than that, so I've given myself 5 inches. That's probably why 5 inches of positive ease. But I do like jumpers a little bit big, but I think I may have gone too big on this. I could have done with maybe a size smaller. The size, you see, the size down was 41.25, which would only have given me 2 inches. I didn't want it tight, especially if you want to wear something underneath it. But I'm just going to have to see how it turns out. But it does seem quite big. So I was saying last time that I wasn't sure if I wanted the balloon sleeves on it or not. Looking at the size of it now, I think I'm going to have to not have the balloon sleeves, because if this bit's turned out quite big, them sleeves are going to be massive. Unless I did the size smaller for the sleeves. I don't know. I suppose I could do that. Or I could just put normal sleeves on it. I love this detail. Absolutely love that detail. It's gorgeous. It has an I-cord around the neck as well. And yeah, the yarn is Olympus double knitting. It's one that I got from a shop local to us, and it's just shade 973. It's like a forest green. It's really, really soft, and it's 100% acrylic. I'm not going to use all the yarn. I've still got 3 balls left on this. I've worked out how many rows I need to do for the length of it, and I need to do another 40 rows or rounds. So yeah, I don't know whether it's going to be too big. We'll just have to see. You see, it felt big when I put it on, but then the I-cord bind off is going to bring it in a little bit on the neck. We'll just have to see. It might be all right. Shall I try it on? I'll try it on. Wait there. I've tried it on. Doesn't look that bad actually, does it? But it's quite... See, my tummy's there. It is quite a lot of room. I think I got the stripes in the right place though. I ummed and ahed about where to put the stripes. I think I got them in the right place. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. What do you think? Do you think it's too big? Maybe it's not. It feels comfortable there, and it's sitting around my shoulders. It's not falling off. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it looks bigger. I don't think it is at all. Maybe it looks bigger when I'm holding it up, because I don't want it tight. Pull you back a little bit. Yeah, I think it might just be me. It's sitting right, isn't it, on my back? Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Yeah. Right, I'm going to take this off. I'm back. Yeah, I think it looks bigger when you hold it up like that, doesn't it? I think it might be all right. So, I'll just pop this back in my bag. That is everything for the works in progress, but I do want to show you a pattern that I found. I've been watching a lot of other podcasts where they've been crocheting cardigans, and I've really got a hankering for a crochet cardigan, but I can't find the one that I like. I don't want to do a fingering weight one. I really don't want to do a fingering weight one. And I know that Hannah is bringing out the crochet granny stripe in the DK weight, but it's not out yet. So I'm kind of like, I don't know what I want to do until I saw this pattern. I found this yesterday on Ravelry, and it's called the Ariana, and it's a free pattern. You can't, I believe, you can't download it from Ravelry. I think you've got to follow the link on Ravelry. Where the download button is, it'll say available for free. I clicked that link and then got directed to another site, and I downloaded it there, or just printed it, but this is it. Isn't it gorgeous? I really like this. So this is an Aran weight, which I think is going to work up really quick, but it's granny squares. Now, my track record for doing anything granny square is terrible. I get bored. My Nature's Walk blanket is taking me forever, because once I've done a couple, I don't want to make any more. It's like anything. It's like 2 socks or 4 legs on an amigurumi. I get bored. So you need, I believe, 68 of the granny squares, which I think, for me, I don't know whether it's going to drive me mad or I'm going to absolutely love it. I've not got the yarn for it, so I can't even start it at the moment, but I do really like it. I think that might be one of the ones that I'm going to have to persevere with to get that pattern, to get that project, sorry. I really, really like it. So that, I don't know whether I'm going to cast it on now or just leave it in my pattern book and just to cast on at a later date, but I really do want a crochet cardigan. I know Davina from Little Workroom Crafts has been making some crochet cardigans, and they are absolutely gorgeous, and I've looked at a few of those, and I think the problem that I've got is because I watch Hannah from the Cozy Cottage Crochet, and I really like hers, but I don't want it in 4-ply. I'm waiting for the DK version to come out. That might be what's holding me back on all other patterns. I don't know. But yeah, I do like this one. I really like this one. I've got something in my eye. I think it's yarn. So yeah, I'll link this pattern below. It's gorgeous. It's got the pattern's really well written for a free pattern. It's brilliant. It's got a schematic in it as well, so you can see how it's designed. It's really, really well written, and all of the squares are numbered, so you know exactly how to sew them together. It's very good. But yeah, I don't know, we'll see. I do want to cast it on, but I must get on with my Nature's Walk blanket. I've done a couple of squares on that. I'm not going to show you that today because you've seen it before, and there's no point in you showing that till I've got some decent progress on it. I've not worked on my amigurumi at all. That seemed to be a very fleeting project that came in and went. The Fritz the Frog, I don't think I mentioned it last time, I ran out of green yarn. I absolutely ran out of green yarn. So I do have some more green yarn. My friend sent me some, so I've got plenty of this yarn. So what I could do is make another Fritz the Frog, but I don't want to make amigurumi at the moment. So because of how I felt last time with losing my knitting mojo, I don't want to put any pressure on myself to make something that I'm not 100% feeling, just because I've started it. So I'm not going to pressure myself to work on anything that I don't want to work on, because that just means that I end up losing my mojo for it altogether, and I'm not doing that anymore. So there is that. And the other thing I want to talk about, we know what kind of season it is, the Stephen West. I don't know what to do. I really, really don't know what to do. So his new make-along comes out, I think it starts, is it October 1st or around that time? And I really, really, have fear of missing out on this make along. We've talked about it, I spoke about it in the Patreon group as well. Last year I started it and I didn't finish it. And then I started the Miss May make-along and didn't finish that either. I think I'm not very good at make-alongs, but it's Stephen West and I really want to do it. But I know what's going to happen is, because it's a Stephen West and it's such a huge project, and I already have a Stephen West on the go, I'm just going to get overwhelmed and none of my other projects will get worked on. I'll get bored and I won't finish it. So I'm really trying hard not to jump on the bandwagon of it, because I know how it's going to go. I know exactly what I'm going to do. But the fear of missing out is so strong. I really want to do it. I've even chosen yarn. Are any of you doing it? How many of you are doing it? Because if lots of you are doing it, I'm going to do it. I don't know what to do. I really don't. I can always just buy the pattern. But you see, if I buy the pattern, I'm going to want to start it on the 1st of October with everybody else. But I don't want to get overwhelmed. I've still got the Versities Unite to finish, which is in hibernation at this point, because it's just such a big project. And I don't mind big projects. That doesn't bother me. But I've got 2 other big projects on the go that I want to get finished, which is why the Stephen West is having to wait. I like to have one big project on the go, maybe a couple of shawls on the go, and then lots of little projects on the go. That's what I'm comfortable with. I'm not comfortable with a cardigan, a sweater, and a Stephen West shawl all at the same time. And to add in another one, that's just going to be silly. I don't know what to do. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I've still got something in my eye. So that is everything for the knitting content this week. So Finlay went back to school yesterday. Oh my God, how nerve-wracking was that? He's started high school now and it was just so nerve-wracking. He absolutely loves his school. Absolutely no problems. He's settled straight in and he loves it. He hates the bus. Does not like the bus at all. He's not used to it because it's really rowdy and there's a lot of children on it and a lot of older children that have been doing it for years and they're just being teenagers on the bus. He didn't like it. So the poor boy, when he got off yesterday, was crying. And I was talking to him on the bus and, you know, until he got home to try and keep him comfortable. I was waiting at the bus stop for him, but he was just traumatised. I'm trying to push him because I think it'll do him good to get used to doing this. So we've gone to the bus again this morning and he didn't get on it. I ended up having to drive him to school. So I don't quite know whether the school run's going to come back or I'm going to manage to get him on the school bus. I'm hoping that if I just keep pushing him, he's going to be okay and he's going to deal with it, because I think it'll be really good for him. Because his school is not in the same place where we live, all of his mates are going to be in that other place. They all live there. And to go and see his mates, he needs to be used to getting on the bus. But yeah, at the moment, bless him, it's a step too far that he's not ready for. So I'm not sure how that's going to go yet. But he absolutely loved school. He had a great time. I was just totally lost yesterday. 6 weeks of having him at home, I was completely and utterly lost. It was weird. And it's weird this morning, but I've managed to come home and start the podcast, so that's kept me busy. But yeah, no, he's settled straight and he looks so grown up in his uniform. But yeah, bless him. So we've had that. And then, yeah, there's not really any plans over the next couple of weeks. We've got the Advent to dye up the end of this week and into next week. And then we've got Yarndale at the end of September, which we're all looking forward to. Finn's coming as well. So if you are going to Yarndale, we're going on the Sunday. So if you are going, do come and say hello. Finn will be with us as well, so do come and say hi. So that's really exciting. And there's no other great plans. There's nothing that's gone on really. We finally got some rain this week. We've had storms and thunder and lightning. It's been fantastic. It's the first rain we've had all summer. And it's finally cleared the air, so it's been really nice. But yeah, other than that, nothing's gone on. There's no great exciting news to tell you. We've just been plodding on and just getting used to things. So rather than me sit here and witter on some more, I'm going to end the podcast here. There's going to be a vlog at some point this week. I want to start the crochet tutorial series next week. Now, what I think I'm going to do is just start with the basics of crochet and then go into granny squares. If there's something that you want to see in a crochet series, just leave me a comment and let me know. But I think maybe possibly a granny square is something I'm going to start with. In the run up to Christmas, I want to do some crochet quick gifts that you can make. So I'm hoping if I start with like chain stitches and a few basic stitches, that'll lead you into the tutorials that I'm going to be putting out in the run up to Christmas. And there will just be quick tutorials, something that you can whip together for a quick gift, like dishcloths and magnets and that type of thing. But if there's anything else that you want to see, just let me know. But I'm hoping to start that next week. We've done the sock tutorial this week, or I've done the sock tutorial this week. And that was one that you'd all asked for. Yeah, anything else, just let me know. Hopefully there'll be a vlog this week. Yeah, so we'll just see what happens. I definitely feel like I've had more time switching over to fortnightly podcasts. So thank you all for understanding that. It's helped enormously. It just meant then that I could get on with doing other things that I want to do. So thank you very much for that. And thank you, like I say, for those of you that have come over and joined Patreon, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. So does Danny. And yeah, it's been brilliant. So I'm going to stop wittering on. I'll see you all in 2 weeks. There'll be something on the channel way before that 2 weeks is up, but the next podcast will be in 2 weeks. Imicol, if you is it Imicol or Imicol? I'm really sorry if I've said your name wrong, but if you could get in touch with me about your prize, your pattern prize, and I can get that gifted out to you. And yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stop wittering. Have a lovely 2 weeks, everybody. I'll see you in 2 weeks.